I watched that MatPat video and it bothered me a little bit.
Okay.
Just a little bit from video editing standpoint.
Oh, really? Video editing. Interesting.
At the very end, he's like,
Oh, yeah.
I'll shut the door and it'll fade to white. I'm like, oh, that's how you should end it. And then he had to do 6 different endings. I was like, this is frustrating. But it's like Nostalgia Critic when he was very popular. There was the Nostalgia Christian and a couple others like that. I was like, this is he and I got in a Twitter beef actually.
The Nostalgia Critic?
No, the Nostalgia Christian.
Oh,
Well, you see, when all the Christian moms boycotted Prince Caspian because of the kissing scene, you know, they were...
What kissing scene? Susan and Caspian?
Is that... that's what I've always heard, like... I think that's what it is, because it's what I've always heard. People didn't let their prince didn't let them watch Prince Caspian because of the kissing scene. I was like, what? Okay.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, or whenever you are watching this. Welcome to Pizza Party.
Yeah. Don't change that dial. Episode 17. I remembered. I almost said 16. It is 17.
Is it 17?
Yeah. I know.
Here we
17. Go. Episode 17. It is just me and Silly this episode. Silly has not been here the last 2 episodes.
I was sick. I had the flu, and then I had flu respiratory infections.
You got the double whammy.
Ear infections on top of that. Thankfully, the ear infections did not feel pain. But it did sound like I was underwater for a little while until I decided to be like, well, I should probably go to the doctor and get antibodies. So I suffered with it for about 5 days, got antibodies for 10 days. And yeah, I'm okay now, I guess, maybe.
Yeah, ear infections suck.
They're a bit inconvenient.
I remember getting one. I was like 11 and didn't eat. I just remember passing out in the doctor's office. Just fell straight backwards, cracked, like hit the back of my head. And they're like, "Are you okay?" I was like, "Yeah, I had an ear infection. I just hadn't eaten for 3 days because it was so bad. Like I couldn't open my jaw." I was like 11, 12. I was like,
yeah.
I'm fine now. I mean,
well, I have this fantastic property that the good Lord blessed me with, and I'm partially saying that sarcastically, but it's probably more the effect of the fall of man anyway. The eustachian tubes that run from my ears down to my throat that help leak out the ear are like smaller than average, so they get blocked up really easily. And actually, right now, because I ran out of allergy meds yesterday, so I didn't have anything to take last night. There's like an increased pain around this part of my face, unfortunately. And
interesting.
I got replacement drugs.
Replacement drugs. Nothing. Not a prescription. Replacement drugs. I'm not gonna say what it is.
You just go to Quay, get your off-brand Allegra. I found out. I think that maybe Target might be the cheapest, but I don't know. I did only buy the 31 for like $13, and I feel like the 31 at Walmart was like 12.
Yeah. What? No, I don't have Target. So, but anyway, let's get on target by talking about the topic of game theory or game theories. And I'm talking with my hands, and now Silly is mocking me for the audience that are listening to this. Because that's how I talk.
Korean hearts. I don't know. How do you do it? There he is.
I don't know. I have no idea.
It's stupid exhausting this.
Yeah, just do like you're Italian. But I watched that MatPat video and it bothered me a little bit.
Okay.
Just a little bit from video editing standpoint.
Oh, really? Video editing. Interesting.
At the very end, he's like, I'll shut the door and it'll fade to white. I'm like, oh, that's how you should end it. And then he had to do 6 different endings. I was like, this is frustrating.
It's kind of an inside joke because of the fact that most video games that are good, like indie developed video games, have like multiple endings that you have to find and everything like that. And then he's got a whole history of teaching his community how to do, play and do effective alternate reality games on the internet. So that we're talking using different programs to lighten up and mess with the contrast and saturation of pictures to be able to see things that were originally hidden that were always there, but because of the way the picture was set up when you received it, it was hidden. As well as I guess there's like codes on a lot of the other videos that he did because he announced his retirement beginning of this year, right? Or maybe
was it the beginning of this year?
I feel like it was a little earlier than that though, like December or November or something like that. Because I feel like he had like several months.
To be fair, it is March.
Yeah.
So it doesn't feel like the beginning of the year anymore.
No.
Like it is almost April.
No, so I don't remember if he announced it like January or if it was for like December, but I don't think he would have done that for Christmas.
No. Yeah, this is my Christmas present to you guys. I'm quitting. But not really.
Right. Yeah. So all of the last stuff that he had planned for across all four of his channels, Style Theory, Food Theory, Film Theory, and Game Theory, I guess apparently he had like phrases and codes in the backgrounds that basically would compile a so yeah, it was interesting that he ended his last game theory video about, I believe it's economics of game theory.
Yeah, very egotistical of him, but it was very like fitting end. But getting back to the video editing, him leaving with white was like nice, but also I'm like, you couldn't have had her wear a different jacket that wasn't reddish brown, or had her also hanging up the jacket in like a weird way. I don't know. It was. I was like, this is bizarre. I don't know why I'm getting hung up on that part of the video. But that was just me. I was like, from editing and like a camera standpoint.
Part of the video I wanted to talk about this because while I was watching and taking in his last moments on game theory, and then finding out later that he's just gonna like pocket his little way in on his game theory live channel.
He's there
he's
just
not really
in case.
Gone.
He's there just in case no one likes watching the videos and everyone leaves.
He talked about in order to have good game theory and economics, you have to do four simple things. And I found it interesting when he got to number 3, and I was like, interesting. So the first thing he said was that you need to lead with trust. You need to be able to work together. You need to be able to accomplish things. But the second one, you need to be firm because obviously there's a place that you need to go, and you need to be firm and your vision, your mission, on what you're doing, economics, business wise, kind of a thing. 3, be forgiving. That's when I was like, wait a second.
Yeah.
Be forgiving, huh? And then the 4th, okay, yeah, be honest, because obviously none of that works if you don't be honest. But
no,
it's another evidence in the whole conglomerate of evidences that Christianity has.
Right.
For the fact that the Lord made this world work a very particular and very certain way, that even though we have sins and death and a lot of things that originally didn't belong here, they still don't technically belong here because obviously he's going to do away with that when he comes back. That the things that we figure out, like game theory, because it's a theory, right? It's like you have the best game theory in your economics, you got to do these 4 things. That's interesting because I believe that the Lord that we serve is the master of game theory on a number of levels. And I thought that was interesting because you can basically put those 4 points. I mean, if you really need to spell it out, faith, conviction, forgiveness, and honesty. And you do that, you apply that game theory to, well, hopefully, following the Lord. That's it's obviously it's going to help you, do the best that you can to bless, your spiritual family around you, anyone and everyone around you. Um, and that it's crazy. I don't think it's a coincidence. I think it's completely and utterly on purpose.
Well, silly. So what you're saying is it's a theory. It's a faith theory.
It's a faith theory.
Actually, is that a thing? I'm just gonna look that up if that's actually a thing. If there's a channel out there that's like, hey, I'll do this.
I probably should comment it on it. Be like, be forgiving, huh?
Yeah, it's there's not a channel from what I could see, but it's like Nostalgia Critic when he was very popular. There was the Nostalgia Christian and a couple others like that. I was like, this is he and I got in a Twitter beef actually.
The Nostalgia Critic?
No. The Nostalgia Christian. He had posted something, and I don't remember what the tweet was, but he was talking about something about forgiveness.
The original VeggieTales, and how the new VeggieTales with the eyebrows are absolutely bad. It's so hard to be forgiving because of that. But anyway, he was talking about forgiving.
He was talking about forgiveness or something. I'm trying to pull up the tweet to see if I could find it, and I had made a comment on it. Wasn't being mean or anything. I was just like, well, when we are Christians and this thing, you should look at it from this standpoint, and as Christians, like if you're trying to set an example, you shouldn't be living with these certain, like showing these certain things, like your social, like I don't remember the full thing. And he just went, what? And like we had a whole discussion, and that's really where it did. Nothing happened after that. It was just I was like, I wasn't expecting him to answer to the comment because it's one drop in the bucket of a bunch of comments on, especially on Twitter. But it was just odd, the discussion we had. There's no ill beef between me and Kevin, because now he changed him from Nostalgic Christian to Kevin, like his actual name. Say goodnight, Kevin. I don't know if you've seen.
Oh, really? Oh,
yeah,
okay.
I know. Yeah.
I watched some of his stuff. It's so funny because he did when I caught that Kevin was a thing. He literally just started Goodnight Kevin, and I was a heavy proponent of Limey Cow, so that's when the first time I saw him. So I didn't know he was the Nostalgia Christian.
Yeah, that was like one of his things. Like if you go watch his, like he dressed up as like Nostalgia Critic, like he had the hat and the tie and everything, which people really want to do that now, because Nostalgia Christian with all the stuff he's been accused of and all of that, I don't know if you know any of that was going on with his channel. So like apparently, no, like there's a whole document of like the things like he and his like company did, because like his website has all these different channels on it, like that he helps like promote and like support, and like they did all like these crossword videos, like they did these certain things, and like he never commented on it, like he never outright made a either an apology or like breaking the discourse of like, oh hey, this is what's actually going on. But it was like a 20-page document that someone dropped. So it was just bizarre. I was like, huh. Maybe not want to watch
speak on it because you don't know enough.
I don't know. What, like I don't know. It was bizarre, but yeah, I don't know. It's
when you're in the public eye, you're gonna have your thing of controversies. And that's where the conviction comes in, guys.
Yes.
Just have conviction, and then people won't have a leg to stand on.
Hey, and maybe not comment on everyone's video. Maybe that's the thing. Not every YouTube comment needs to be said. Like, sidebar, I have someone on YouTube. I don't know why. They do it every so often. They ask me what I do with the food wrappers after my reviews. They're like, what do you do with it?
I burn it.
I throw it away. It goes in a bag and I throw it in the trash can. Like, that's where it goes. Like,
where it goes? What are you talking about? Right.
This is like the third time this person's asked me this, or they've asked, how do I sleep? I was like, I'm not answering that. That's weird. I'm not answering that. Sorry.
You say, well.
With a nice comforter. With a nice comforter, a good pillow, and I try to go to bed at a reasonable time, preferably like 11:30, 10 o'clock. You know?
Yeah. I usually get my son to bed by like 10 because we're kind of like later. But actually,
Oh
lately
yeah.
I have been like putting him to bed at like 9 o'clock. I'll just be failing it around 8:30. I'll be like, okay, kid, it's time to go to bed.
Yeah, it's like bedtime. Go, get out of here.
Also has me do a lot of things too, which I mean, all of it's like good things, good bonding time with
Oh
him.
yeah,
So like um we sing the children's song, the Crown song. If you've ever heard of it before,
maybe.
it's a pretty good classic. I'll probably like tell you after the fact. But the Crown song, I lately incorporated. I seen the mighty power of God, where I had the epiphany of the fact that in verse 2 it says, I seen the goodness of the Lord that fills the earth with food, and it dawns on me that because of food, like obviously the good and healthy food that we grow from the ground and everything, because of food. I mean that's like it's because of God's goodness that we have that food in the first place. Like, okay, I've just never sat there and considered that before about the fact that it's like proof of God's goodness is the food that we get to eat. You know, um, so it's pretty fun to do that. Pray. I got a book filled with, well, not really filled with, but like obviously it's a book with all the Psalms that were kind of reworked as best as they could in English, and then like
Interesting.
they reworked them into meter, and from that meter, then you can actually take like a majority of like hymns that are in the same meter and sing whatever tune you want to these psalms. So you can actually
Nice.
sing the psalm. So we read the psalm and sing it. And then I've been trying to get him to go through Narnia, but that's mainly for me.
Right, you're just like
Sit
here.
there read Narnia.
Read these. Did you see that Narnia sketch? Of it's like if you actually really think about it, like there are older people in younger kids' bodies. If you really think about it.
You're right.
Yeah,
Okay, yeah.
one of the guys is like, yeah, I was married to a beaver. I had beaver kids.
Oh man.
It's like now they don't have a dad. I was like, I gotta go back. It was like,
Well,
yeah, I had this giant ring, like stone. Like I lost that. I was like, oh yeah, they're probably just better off in Narnia.
right. It's really prevalent in like the movie and the Prince Caspian, obviously, because Edmund and Peter are getting stir crazy, losing their minds about the fact that they can't go fight in the war.
Yeah,
And it's like, they're sitting there. It's like, I used to be a king. We used to, be like 40 years old, and then we came back to
yeah.
To
Now we're
Earth,
kids
and all
again.
of a sudden we're kids again. And I'm not quite at 16 yet, but I'm pretty sure I could like do the thing that I did in Narnia, and survive.
Yeah, yeah. Man, they never finished those movies, did they? They did 3, and they're like, and we're
Yeah,
finished.
yeah, they never did. One of the biggest book that really ticked me off was The Last Battle.
Yeah.
Because of I don't know, have I talked about this before?
No, you have not. So
Okay, is The Last Battle. It was really cool because I listened to them through Audible. I actually was
nice.
able to nick a full collection, so I got all 7 books, and all 7 books were read by literally 7 different people. And The Last Battle was read by Patrick Stewart. And that was fun.
Nice.
But it really bugged me because the whole premise of The Last Battle is that there is this, or I should say, is the fact that when people who have faith in something are lied to about that, it's more likely for them to then reject everything and be like, no, we're not going to believe that, period, and completely be lost because they, maybe got, a couple of things wrong about, you know, this belief, and now they throw everything out. Yeah, no, I really hated that stupid monkey. That
Yeah, the
dumb
8,
ape.
which
I'm like,
yeah,
and I was just sitting there like, okay, first and foremost, I really think C.S. Lewis is driving home the blessing that it is to have the words of the Lord written in a book, like a physical book that you can go, you can check, and you're not sitting there wondering whether or not God would actually operate this way or not. While they're
oh
sitting
yeah,
there, talk about, oh, well, maybe Aslan does this or he does that. And it's like, you guys are destroyed for our lack of knowledge.
Oh, I'm sure that was C.S. Lewis, like his condemnation of the church at a certain point, where like because no one else could read it at a certain point in history, just the priest. I'm sure that was him kind of like putting that in there a little bit, and just also just people not being very literate at that time period as well. Remember, that was him. Sidebar: Disney, if you ever try to do any more of the Narnia movies, you might want to get Mark Hamill to be the ape. So, or some other villainous sounding person. I don't know who else could do it.
Patrick Stewart was really good as the ape.
Yeah, Benedict Cumberbatch, Andy Serkis. He's played enough apes. He's done like 6 movies with apes.
Oh yeah.
Or however many movies have done with
Planet of the Apes. You put the last battle on, and then your friends gather around. You're like, and they're like, "Oh, which Planet of the Apes movie is this?" It's not.
Yeah,
what?
yeah. What? Yeah. Because they did the 3 movies, and then I filled in the gap because apparently they made movies in the 70s of Narnia.
Oh, are those the cartoons I'm about to totally look up because I wanted to look them up and not because you were going to bring
There's a live action version.
Oh, really?
But my library only had the Silver Chair, the Dawn Treader, and I think they had another one. And that's the only 3 they had. Chris Caspian, they only had those 3. So I watched those and I filled in the gaps. And it's weird because I'm a big Doctor Who fan. Tom Baker's in one of them. He's Podglum in Silver Chair. I'm like, this is weird. It was before I got into Doctor Who. I'm like, man, this guy's very eccentric. And then you get into Doctor Who and he's the 4th Doctor. And I get Podglum. It was weird. But those movies kind of show their age a little bit. The 70s or 80s ones.
Ooh. They did announce a 4th film.
Did they really?
Oh, but it's canceled following the collapse of the film series.
Oh, I was gonna say, I was like, when did they announce this? Silly.
They were gonna make the Silver Chair, and it died. Like, okay, because I guess they didn't get a good enough job on the Dawn Treader.
Well, you see, when all the Christian moms boycotted Prince Caspian because of the kissing scene, they were
what kissing scene? Susan and Caspian?
Is that? That's what I've always heard. Like, I think that's what it is because what I've always heard. People didn't let their parents didn't let them watch Prince Caspian because of the kissing scene. I was like, what? Okay, I don't know. Also, Focus on Family did an audio version years ago. I don't know how many books they did, but
that's interesting that they made the Silver Chair thing. They didn't have any of the other stuff.
Yeah, that was always weird. I was like, this is odd. Like. Except if you're me, who I would just fill in the gaps with stuff. I'm like, yeah, you watch the recent ones, and then you watch the old ones. It's like reverse Star Wars.
They do have Chris Caspian on the Voyage of the Dawn Treader. Oh, they put him in a single movie. That's interesting.
Oh, did they?
It seems like it, yeah. I wish they gave me more screenshots though. That's the weird thing.
It's bizarre.
And then they do have. Wow. That's amazing. I want these movies now. I want to watch them.
Yeah, which going with movies, because you brought up VeggieTales earlier, do you see that they announced a Larry Boy movie for next year?
That was weird. I was like, Larry Boy? Again?
I was like, VeggieTales, I don't think Larry Boy should be the thing you should be leading with if you want to make a movie. Also, the last movie you made bankrupted your company, so why
I didn't know that about Jonah. I was a little 10-year-old that really, really loved VeggieTales, and Jonah was.
Oh yeah,
I've seen Jonah.
Yeah,
theater.
This is cool.
I saw Esther in theater. That was wild.
That was in theater. Why was that in theater?
It wasn't theater. I don't even know. It was. The funny thing is that there was an event that was held in a theater that is in my hometown that doesn't exist anymore because they tore it down.
Interesting. Nice.
There's so funny.
Yeah, there was a movie theater we had in town. It was like a dollar theater. Not really dollar. I guess it was like a family theater. Like like you could either go to AMC, either two of them because we had two AMCs right by each other. Like I kid you not, essentially in the same parking lot, two of them. And then you had this family theater that you can go to a couple months later and watch a movie that just came out for like half the price. It was bizarre. And then they closed it down, and it's still in the mall, and no one wants to buy it. a church tried buying it, but then like nothing happens, or like that building is like still there. It's bizarre. They did tear down the other AMC because for some reason we needed two, which I thought was an odd choice.
Okay, so going back. Okay, so the Silver Chair has a runtime of 2 hours and 35 minutes. That's respectable.
Yeah, makes sense.
To do Caspian and the Voyage of the Dawn Treader, it only took 2 hours and 48 minutes. They have a 4-disc. It's gotta be. I don't even know. All it says is for the Chronicles of Narnia, and specifically the Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe. I'm pretty sure on the cover, and for the description, all it mentions is, oh no, oh wait, I didn't read far enough.
Oh, it was like a box set. That's
fighting alongside the noble line as a nation heard by mighty army. So, like up to that point, it's just the Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe. It says this set includes the following complete stories from the books: series The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe, Prince Caspia, the Voyage of the Dawn Treader, and the Silver Chair. What is it? $25.99. That should go in my cart like right now.
That's yeah. I've sent Silly on a quest. But yeah, it's.
I was gonna say it's 9 hours long.
Jeez.
But it's 4 movies, so
that is fair. It's not like one movie cut. It's like it's not the Snyder cut where it's a 4-hour long movie.
Right, but it's like it's probably a TV miniseries to be honest. But
it probably was.
I mean, for it being BBC, the acting's probably pretty top notch too for 1988.
Yeah, I remember like that. There's the scene with Puddle Glum where he like puts his hand in the fire. I'm like, I don't know how they did that. Like Tom Baker's putting his hand in there. I don't know what they did, but I was like, oh, I was like, who's talking to me? Oh,
my brother just walked in. He got home.
Oh, I was so confused because the volume popped up on my side, so I'm like, who's talking? Like I thought someone was talking through the door. I was like, what's going on? It's funny, but yeah, yeah. We on our adaptations we never talked about like Christian adaptations of stuff, but I don't know. It's we did talk about Avatar a little bit, but of course that was before the series came out.
Yeah,
but it's before the series came out, so.
Well, see, I can't really beat a $25 price tag for 4 movies, but each movie is $25 on it. So
yeah. Go to Walmart. They're like, you can get this one DVD, $30. It's like, might as well pirate the movie off the library, you know.
Of course, I did that, and I can watch the whole Silver Chair on YouTube.
That is, they're probably all on YouTube. I'm sure. Gotta say, good casting for Aslan was. I think it was Liam Neeson they had as Aslan. Yeah. The recent ones, I was like, yeah, love hearing a Scottish lion. I love hearing a Scottish lion, you know. So I don't know. It was what was it? Tilda Swinton was the queen, White Queen, whatever her name was.
Yeah.
But yeah, back to game theory. Yeah, that like I don't know. I haven't watched much MatPat. I was like, I never really watched a lot of his content. I was like, oh yeah, he's one of these big guys on YouTube that's always on the trending page.
Yeah, he's done it for 13 years. So I haven't like seen all of his stuff.
No, but I do have to credit him because he's been around for like he's been doing YouTube for like 13 years is a while for YouTube.
I mean, the fact this is the thing too. It's like the fact that he was around long enough for YouTube to actually care enough to make him a goodbye video the day before his Gay Theory video. I was like, dude, this guy's touched, the hearts of a lot of people.
Oh yeah, he is someone I would like to talk to just because like information. Like he was part of Defy before that company went under. like he saw. Well, he saw the writing on the wall, and he's like, "All right, I'm out. Like, I'm out of here. Like, I'm out of here." And then he's like, "Oh, I'm gonna do this channel," and then like, I guess like his attention to like quality and detail as well. Like, I don't know. He's one of those like OG YouTubers that are like gonna be like remembered for a while, I think. But I remember everyone was like, "Who?" Like that video when he announced he's gonna leave, everyone was like, "Oh, who's next? Who's gonna leave next?"
British guy.
What British guy?
Literally, he's got a dude that's going to. I don't. I think he's still kind of leading a little bit, but like obviously up until this point, he was on all 4 of his channels, and he started these the other 3 channels like he's been doing, maybe like 2.5 years ago. So it's a lot of work that he's been doing because he's the face of every single video. So that's where it was like, yeah, 13 years. I'm done. I'm gonna find some hosts.
Yeah,
each channel has their own host. But yeah, no, sure enough, the Game Theorist channel gets to be voiced over by a British dude. I don't even know his name. I don't know his name either.
Me neither. I'm talking about like what like big YouTuber is going to be next on the platform is going to like hey, I'm done now.
Yeah,
it's like Smosh all of a sudden just like, hey, we're both done now.
Then Mark was funny, and he was like, I'm tired.
Oh yeah, Mark. He's like, I'm tired, and everyone was like, oh, he's leaving too.
But
what would have made it really funny if Jacksepticeye also did it? The 3 of them just did it together. Just like it's like, no, we're all leaving together, but no, it's like we'll just troll everyone.
Well, it's wild too because when somebody leaves, it's like there's a vacuum that's there that in theory you can get there,
YouTube's like, we gotta fill it in.
Right.
Which I do not like. Well, it's a whole algorithm. YouTube's whole algorithm of like their trending page is garbage because it's a movie trailer, a MatPat video, or like someone else. I'm like, you think you would try shuffling in some like they do? I mean, I think now they have like a tab where it's like upcoming creators on there, but I don't know. I feel like I wish it was more. I feel like it should there've been more stuff.
Yeah.
But there was something I really liked in his video where he was talking about when you're making your video. I don't know whatever creator he was talking about, where they essentially Vsauce. They had essentially the same idea.
Oh yeah.
For the video, but Vsauce had it out. I'm like, oh yeah, because I actually had that feeling.
Sonic
I made a video.
really fast, and MatPat's like, I'm gonna make one about him, and he's slow.
Yeah. I kid you not, had his same feeling. I made a video where I was like, what if I beat? How punchable are certain fast food mascots? I was like, that's what I titled the video. It was like, how punchable are fast food mascots? And under it, if you just look it up, under it is someone who goes like, how strong are these like fast food mascots? I'm like, well, yes, they're strong, but can I punch them? If I had run them on the street, could I punch them? I was like, it was very much that same mentality of like, you have to make, because everyone's going to try jumping on one topic.
Yeah.
And it's how different you can make that topic that it sets it apart in content. And it's like the gold in content creation of like hopping on that one trend, whatever it is. Either it's a new game or a new like thing that's out there or in the news. But it's like, I'm sure Charlie, like Moist Critical, already had a video ready to go. He's like, goodbye MatPat. Like, he's just like got it out there or something like that. Just
funny. I also watched MatPat's reaction video to the YouTube video of them sending it, and Jimmy Beast going, "We're gonna miss you, buddy." And Matt's like, "You're not gonna miss me. He's too busy doing stuff to miss me."
Oh yeah, no, Mr. Beast, like, I gotta make another chocolate bar.
I gotta rework the formula, guys.
I gotta redo the packaging and make it worse.
It's so funny because it's like I tried it, and then I realized that I don't remember what the previous ones tasted like, so I can't compare.
Yeah, I did try the original ones, and now I might have to go. Well, the whole thing about it took me so long to make that video because every time I go, someone was going to Walmart and breaking all the bars. Like, these were people that were going to any Walmart just breaking them.
Huh.
And I was like, why were you wasting time going to Walmart to do this?
You got something against broken bars?
No, I was just like, it was a little frustrating to me. I was like, can I just not find a solid one?
It's not presentable.
Yeah. I was like, also they did gummies, and every time I go to Walmart, I was like, oh, I'll try them. They're melted on the rack, like they're just a solid clump. I was like, what is going on? Like why Walmart? It's not like 90 degrees in here. Like why is all of a sudden like they just a blob?
Right. So, one more footnote in the Narnia thing, and I promise I can put Narnia to bed.
Okay.
After having searched all of the media for it, there was a cartoon of The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe that aired in 1979, and I kind of wonder why they didn't have time or make time to do the whole series.
I wonder why.
Honestly, I remember watching it too growing up. To be honest, like they probably had it at the library and everything.
Oh, I'm sure. It's interesting. I guarantee Disney's like, hey, let's make it a show. Let's not make an actual movie whenever they get around to it. Or whoever has the rights now to it. I think it's Disney still has the rights.
Well, it's kind of funny because I got lost with the Chronicles of Narnia because like I watched the movies and I was like, oh, this is so cool. You know, as a kid.
Yeah.
And I got a Narnia book.
But it's like so different.
The third book in the series. It's not The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe. It's not Prince Caspian. No. It's The Horse and His Boy. And I'm like, I don't know what we're doing here.
You're like, where's the characters I know?
Yeah, and years later, when I get, the complete collection, and I actually go through The Horse and His Boy, I'm like, oh, I really like this. I'm so sad that I didn't actually read all the way through it, because later on, towards the end of the book, you find out, oh, there's Lucy and Edmund, and Peter and Susan. They're trying to, get these goofballs to not be so weird about things. And, the prince of that region is head over heels for Susan, apparently.
For some reason.
Yeah. Oh, and by the way, the main character you've been following this entire time, he's the lost prince in a kingdom that's just like on the outskirts of Narnia, between Narnia and this other spot that he shows up in. Oh, and he's a twin brother too, so there's that as well. Like,
of course, it's a twin brother. It's a twin brother, of course. It's one of those.
I gotta be impressed though, because everybody who does the twin brother thing and all the cliches did it from C.S. Lewis.
They had to. Because okay, so did you ever watch the Voltron Netflix series that they did in like 2017?
No.
So there's a episode. I think it's in the last season where they do a D&D episode, and it's essentially foreshadowing events that's coming for that season. And one of them goes, "Oh, I died. Well, my twin brother has popped up, and plot twist, he dies, and then like there's like a clone of him. It's not quite a twin brother; it's his clone."
Huh.
But I was like, "This is weird. This is at the point where like the viewership had really gone down in the show because it really started like meandering. Like there was a bunch of filler the last season, like it wasn't going anywhere, and they're like, let's do this catch up episode, like that one Avatar episode where they're in the theater. It was very much that. I was like, what's going on? Which, funny enough, one of the characters in Voltron is voiced by the guy that's Sokka, and he's also blue. Weird side, like it's odd. Netflix like, hey, we do Avatar with Voltron. It'll work. Because the last series did so well for Voltron. Because people really remember Voltron. I don't know.
That's really kind of weird. Speaking of crazy old cartoons.
Oh my god.
So, The Hobbit was aired in 1977 as the cartoon that we all know and love before they ruined it with the 3 movies, right? They had the Lord of the Rings in 1978, and I do not think it covered the 2 Towers. And then for some reason, they skipped the 2 Towers and went to the Return of the King. And I'm not sure what happened there. If in the Lord of the Rings they got to the 2 Towers, and they were like, okay, now we just need one for the Return of the King.
Right.
I'm not
They're
sure
like,
how that.
they're like, we don't have the budget for 2 towers. We have the budget for Return of the King, but not 2 towers.
We have a budget for 1 tower, but not 2 towers. But it's wild because The Hobbit came out in 1977. Then The Lord of the Rings came out in 78, a year later. So it seems to suggest that they worked on these, cartoons like all at once, and released them year after year, same way that they did that Peter Jackson decided to do the Lord of the Rings in 1, 2, and 3. So, which I'm sure is like the way to go,
Especially when movies like that might as well just do them in succession. Unlike the Narnia movies where they didn't do that and they actually had to refix the costumes for the second one because one of the actresses got too tall. Like she had a growth spurt.
Lucy had a growth spurt.
Was it Lucy? No, it was Lucy.
It was Lucy. I'm sure it was.
Because the actress was I think she was 11 when they did the first one.
Yeah.
And then she was by the time they did Prince Caspian, she was 13. So she had a growth spurt, and it's obvious in the movie. Because I think there's a little time gap between Caspian and Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe, but not a 2-year gap. And they kind of had to fit it in. I can't remember.
Yeah, I mean, one of the other things too that made it where it would have been more possible if it was really successful and they did everything right. Where they would start with the Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe. They would move on to Prince Caspian and the Voyage of the Dawn Treader, and just kind of keep going on like that. They go back to the Horse and His Boy when they're all older anyway because of the timeline.
Yeah.
With that, and then of course I don't know what they would do with the Magician's Nephew, but
yeah, I don't know.
Because that would be a whole different cast, really.
I don't think they were thinking about that at the time. Yeah, I don't think they were thinking about that at that time.
Yeah.
They were let's just do one and then see how this goes. Which, it's interesting. But yeah, man. I'm really surprised they haven't tried doing Narnia again, just with because there are other Lord of the Ring projects that are attached and spin off from stuff and pull from other stuff. So I'm really surprised no one's picked up Narnia. Even if it's not Disney, I'm it's interesting.
Disney wish they had the ready Narnia.
Yeah, I don't know. Well, Disney right now is hey, we have Marvel still.
They're tripping over themselves too because they can't seem to put a good sermon together.
Yeah, they're just
I think which is so funny because I watched a video that basically pointed that out in Wish, where basically they stripped it of all it's what is the point? And I'm like, oh, this is literally when we have when you're training for doing sermons and stuff, and you just have bits and pieces that don't really make a thought,
No, let's make an Eternals movie, that their characters all hinge on their relationship with Thanos, but we killed him in the last movie. So Disney, I don't know what they're doing. And they're let's do streaming on everything. Let's not have all our chickens in one basket, or no. Let's not have all our eggs separated. It's, I don't know. Thanks, Disney. But then they want to backtrack, and they're just oh, we don't have any women-focused movies? Well, let's make one, but
isn't every Christmas movie a woman-focused movie?
That's how they should sell it. They're just you want to see Black Widow do a Christmas movie?
Well, it's the really dumb thing too, where the classic response when a female-led movie doesn't do well is oh, it's because the world's sexist, and you're no, you just don't know how to tell a good story.
No, because it's not written well. It's I'm sorry, you can't. I'm sorry, you aren't making a good movie.
We were fine with Star Wars, the original trilogy.
Yeah. Well, then it's let's explain every minutia of Star Wars where it's not interesting anymore. Let's explain all the Clone Wars. Yeah, I don't know.
Well, you didn't need to do much explaining on the Clone Wars. All you had to do was play Star Wars Battlefront.
But some people don't want to play video games,
Crazy people.
Don't want to play video games. How dare they?
Hi.
What is wrong with people?
Something. So, Crad, I have a funny story to tell, and I wanted to wait till you got here to tell it.
Well, I appreciate you waiting on me, boys. Let's hear it.
So it's about pizza.
Oh boy.
It's so I was at this is a couple months ago. So I was at a Dean's Party City. I don't know if you know what that is.
I've heard of a Party City before. I don't know what yours is like, but
it's like a party store.
Right.
But anyway, I was there I was just looking around. I don't know why I was there. I was looking for something. I think I needed it for something for church or whatever. Something was going on, whatever. And this place also has custom signs you can get made. Okay? And
cool.
This guy was making a custom sign. And so then we started talking because for some reason the sign was taking forever. So he started talking to me, and he started talking about conspiracy theories for some reason. I was like, and it was all about like all this weird stuff, like Lee Harvey Oswald and everything else. I was like, all right, this conversation is getting awkward. And then like I was like trying to like be nice and break up the conversation because I needed to get going. He's like, oh, I got what I need. I gotta get out of here. Like I gotta get where I'm supposed to be going. I think it was on a Wednesday, so I was trying to get to church. And this guy like started following me to my car. I was like, okay, this is getting awkward. I just got in my car and like sat there, and he's like, oh, this guy doesn't want to talk to me anymore. He just walks away. I don't know what his deal, but like I don't know what his deal was.
But, goodbye.
Yeah, but the reason it's about pizza, he owns a local pizza place here. He's like, I own Charlie's. I was like, oh well, I guess I'm not going to Charlie's now because you're totally weird. Like, also, he was being really rude to the lady that was working there, and I almost like called him out on it. I was like, "Hey, how about you be a little nicer to the lady trying to help you out?" But it's like this is getting frustrating. But
that is kind of strange.
Yeah, I the people that are in my town are bizarre. I also had a homeless guy today. I was in my car. He's like on like this, like the divider between the lanes. And he started like trying to tap my window, trying to get money from me. I was like, "What the heck's going on?" I was like, "What's going on?" I was like, "Sorry, I'm sorry. I don't want to give you anything."
Plastic. Do you want water?
I was like, "I have some water for you. I have some Canada Dry for you. You can have that." I don't know. I felt bad, but I don't know. But
you know,
it's a hard thing to decide what to do in situations like that.
Yeah. But it feels like we've had people that will be homeless, but they'll be coming out of like a full RV. So it's like,
so they're homeless but on wheels.
Yes. You have to pick and choose in those situations of like helping out the homeless people or not, because then even if you try to help them out, they're like, "Well, I don't want that. I don't want this one thing." It was like, "Well, I'm trying to help you out."
Well, there's some. Oh, go ahead, Chad.
I was gonna say, I think that's where you kind of have to pray for the Holy Spirit to give you guidance on what to do.
Oh yeah,
for sure.
Oh yeah.
I did know. I did know one of my travels out in Ohio, and I don't mean to, but it's been bugging me a lot because it's just the way I thought about it was really something that's like I should like tell other people this kind of thought process. But on my travels, for work and stuff, there was one time during the winter that I was driving along like the middle of the city road. I saw a guy in a wheelchair. He was like trying to like, I could tell he was trying to get someplace. And I was like, well, so I actually went around the block and, went up and parked kind of right in front of him. I asked, I was like, hey, do you need help getting to whatever place you need to go? And, he took my help. And I sat there as I was putting his wheelchair, I got him in the car and I sat there as I was putting his wheelchair in the trunk, thinking, what if he takes advantage of me, or something weird happens, while I'm doing it? Yeah. And I sat there, it's like, if that happens because of the generosity that you are willing to provide due to your Lord, then and the Lord just allows that to happen, it kind of needs to be a well, so be it attitude. Kind of a thing. Because, here you are trying to do what your master wants you to do in the first place. And this is the whole point. Not to sit there and say that, I helped. Everything obviously ended up being fine. Nothing goofy happened or anything. He just needed to get to a coffee shop a couple of blocks down the road. And, helping him out in that way, obviously, to keep him out of the cold and for him to be, there was, obviously a good thing to do. But even in situations where, obviously, you need to be, like Crad was saying, asking for the Holy Spirit guidance, being the harmless dove, but the shrewd serpent that you need to be, to, make sure that situation is actually warranting that grace and that help, in the first place.
Right.
Right. So that, you don't just go blindly into a spot, try to help a guy in a wheelchair out and get jumped by his 3 buddies, kind of a thing.
Yeah, it's.
But it was like that one moment too, in that particular situation, where it was enough for me to go back and do something about it, and even in my thoughts being like, well, what if he takes advantage of you? Maybe somebody comes up behind you, knocks you on the head, which very well could have happened right at that moment. It was like one of those things where it's like, doing and serving the Lord. If it's because of a service that you're doing for the Lord, and that happens, then yeah, absolutely, so be it. If it has to happen,
it's again really hard to tell. Like where I live, we have a lot of homeless people, a lot of poverty, so it's like really hard to choose and figure that out of helping people, because some of them are just they don't want any help, but they also don't want to do anything to change it. It's like, well, people are going to give me things, therefore I can keep living like this. I had some guy in a motorized wheelchair, had no legs, and he's like, can you give me a ride? And I'm like, well, I can't take your motorized vehicle. It doesn't fit in my vehicle. Like, where am I supposed to take you? Because then you're just on the side of the road, just kind of just there. But also then he started asking me to get it, do these certain things, all right, something's off here. I was like, oh, I'm sorry, I got to get somewhere. It was one of those situations where I'm like, oh, he was wanting a little more. I'm like, all right, let's not further this along, I'll be like, oh, I'm sorry, I got to get somewhere. He's like, do you need me to call someone for you? And that's when he got very agitated. I'm like, all right, I'm going to get in my car and I'm going to leave. The guy tried driving out in front of me. I was like, you're going to get hit by someone's car. You're being weird, frustrating, weird. Let's calm down here. Crad, you missed a very interesting conversation about Narnia and game theory. Because for some reason, Silly and I got on a weird tangent about Narnia. I don't know how.
Back into it. So, the fun facts about this whole Narnia shindig. So, there was a live action that was made by the BBC back in, what was it, 1970? No,
70 or 80, something like that.
1980s.
Yeah, I watched all of them, I believe.
Yeah, and I just bought it off of Amazon because it was really
That's funny.
It was a whole box set, so it was a whole box set for $25. I went every single DVD for some weird reason separately. It was $25. It's like, hey, get the box set. There you go.
Right.
So I'll see what they're about in a little bit. And then I reminded. Well, I don't think I reminded. You never watched the cartoon, did you?
Nope.
No.
Nope.
Yeah. So
I didn't realize it was a cartoon till now.
I remember picking up the cartoon that was made in 1977.
Wow.
From the library. That was interesting.
Nice.
That's where I got the old, the ones from the BBC was the library originally.
Same. I was telling Silly because I had seen the original Disney movies, the first 3, then they stopped, and then I was like, oh, they did, because in my head I was like, oh, they did other ones, but why do they look so old? I I didn't piece together they're separate. I was like, oh wait, no, these are separate. That's
funny.
Someone else. That's just one of those things.
That's funny.
But also we're connecting because that got me to Doctor Who because Tom Baker's in one of those, and then of course he was the 4th Doctor. I think it was after, which
you said he's the tadpole?
No, Tom Baker's the 4th Doctor.
No, I know he's the 4th Doctor, but you were saying he's in the Silver Chair as that
he's
frog creature.
Yeah, but he really doesn't look like a frog creature. Just imagine Tom Baker both green makeup on his hands.
So he's Shrek.
I mean, not quite Shrek. Not quite Shrek. Not quite Shrek.
But that also segued into me looking up the old cartoon series. Oh, excuse me, 1979 is when the cartoon thing came out. But yeah, no, the old cartoon series for Lord of the Rings before the live action.
Oh, the old school one.
Yeah. The Beloved Hobbit, 77. That's where that year came from. And then, year after year, they did the Lord of the Rings in 78. Actually, they skipped a year to do the Return of the King. But apparently they didn't have the budget for 2 towers.
They're just
Lord,
like,
I don't remember how that happened. I feel like Lord of the Rings was like extremely long and encompassed both the Fellowship and the Two Towers, but
yeah, it's interesting. But we were also talking about MatPat and game theory and just old school YouTube. But
Okay.
it's interesting it's interesting what's gonna happen now that these guys have been doing it since the platform started, or now just like either pivoting their content. Because we had brought Silly, you and I were bringing up, you brought up Blimey Cow earlier, and now where they've kind of just pivoted. Now they've gone just podcast format with their content. Yeah,
Did they stop missing movies?
They do short form content like sometimes, but like a lot of time now it's like, hey, let's do like a full form podcast, and it has like a meme portion and like a news portion, like advice portion.
Yeah.
But then also they still do messages and a couple other things, and then of course Jordan's got his own content, like he does his own like homesteading stuff with him and his wife and all that. Yeah, I was like, oh yeah. So which good for them. I guess like they both have different creative ideas that they both have to do, which is interesting.
So, Crad, what do you think about game theory? Is it coincidence or was it done on purpose?
I will be honest with you. I haven't watched a lot of game theory.
Okay.
So I'm kind of out of my league with that one.
Okay, so when like I brought up in the Discord, MatPat, he had his final episode on his game theory channel that goes way back to 2011 or something like that, and
yeah, it sounds about right.
Yeah, that's about right. He needed to subtract like 13 years, and he made that video about the economical. It's not a subject. What am I trying to say? The economic point subject. What's it called? Teaching.
Yeah, I'm trying to think of what it is now.
Doctrine.
The economic class. Well, he was breaking. Well, in my mind, he was bringing it up because I wanted to like send him screenshots, be like, "Hey, there's a whole thing in this college thing about you, about game theory."
Mm-hmm.
But yeah.
Yeah. So it was a college course about game theory.
Really?
The subject about game theory, and you know how to get or have good game theory. There's 4 steps.
How?
The first one is to lead with trust. The second one is to be firm. The third one is to be forgiving. And the fourth one is to be honest. And literally, I sat there, but when he got be forgiving, I paused the video and I was like, you don't say. Really?
Yeah, to quote Incredibles, coincidence, I think not. And
I just thought about it a little bit more. It's like literally what he said was, in order to have good game theory, right? It's like literally like in order to be, the Christian that you need to be, right? It is, to lead with faith, keep to your convictions, from that faith that grows in Christ, right? And obviously be forgiving and be honest. And when you're honest, obviously, and you're humble enough to take criticism and such, and you're humble enough, obviously, to obviously have faith in God, be trusting of your church family. The ultimate game theory, just works in that way. And I'm like, that cannot possibly be a coincidence. Why it works like that, and why that's the best outcome for any, though the situations that MatPat brought up, but like life in general, because when you're, because the whole point about game theory is obviously you're sitting there, imagining playing a game in your head. Obviously, when you are trying to like you beat your opponent at chess or whatever, you're thinking about the moves that they're going to take, in response to the moves that you might possibly take. How far down the line do you go? In your relationships, when you talk, to others, maybe you have a disagreement, but you think on down the line, if you bring that disagreement out, perhaps they might not, be as willing to do something else. And of course, it might hopefully keep you from being, just rude and awful, in general, maybe to them or or whatever, so that later on down the road it could be more favorable as your relationship with them increases and whatnot, and maybe I would think maybe down the road bringing up the issues maybe that you might have with each other later on when you have a better friendship involved. But yeah, no, it was just like the intricacies of all that. I was like, that could not be a coincidence. It's like how close you are,
And it makes
you
Alright.
you got the game theory master over here.
Makes you wonder if I don't know what MatPat's whole belief is, where
He keeps it
where he
really
stands.
hidden. I always like tune in and try to like listen to the faintest hint of it's probably humanism in general, just because of how he is and like the want to do good, but not seeming that there's any real higher power to even want to do good in the first place, and it's kind of like the greatest joke, It's like, oh, you want to hear a joke? Oh yeah, be good with that guy.
Yeah, it's, I don't know. You always wonder. He's like, hey, what does this person on the internet believe in? And sometimes there's not a place for that. We're like, that part I'm gonna cut out, because it doesn't.
Again, you don't know, because
doing.
he's such a professional for the last 13 years. I mean, being the theater nut that he is, you sometimes forget that he can act, which also explains your. Why is there 6 different endings?
Oh my, yeah. So earlier I got in a rant talking about my not frustration, but the things I noticed in the video editing. I was like, why is there 6 different endings? Why does he end it this way? That was just a me thing of the editing standpoint and just like how it ended. Because he could have just ended it in white, because it ends with him shutting the door and it's white.
Blueberry or the maple.
Which is how I came from it. The more I edit, the more I find out that I get frustrated with editing and things, and it takes me out of something I'm watching. So I'm like, oh, there's that editing choice. So, which my frustration, because my video camera just won't focus for like 2 videos, or I didn't turn up my resolution or my APS. So it was like,
it looks like methodically reseal the packaging and everything, and try to reverse the can of Coke or whatever you tried to like drink earlier, and be like, okay, I'm gonna pretend to do it again.
No,
for the first time.
It legit. I did it in my car. I didn't think about the sun, like being outside would change the lighting. It looked like I was like in the middle of the sun, like I was white, and then me. I was like, oh, I can't color correct this. It's like, because I didn't think about APS or anything. So, or is it APS or your FPS or whatever, all that. So I had to like look up. I was like, what setting should I have it at when I'm outside? I was like, oh, crank it as much as you can. It'll fix it. And I was like, well, thankfully it was one video and not like a batch of videos I did. It's like, we're now like, for a week, you're just going to have me in the middle of the sun. Just why I hate recording in my car. I tried doing that today, and I had like almost a mental breakdown because like someone was getting like arrested behind me. I was like, oh, I got to do this somewhere else. I was like, I don't know what's happening. I was like,
go Pete, go.
It was very much that. Go. But yeah, I don't know. But we're also talking about Avatar because we've been watching that because of the new series.
Oh, yeah.
I said it was a good series to sleep to.
I'm not seeing the new movie yet.
How
you're talking about different Avatar, sorry.
Oh no,
the animated Avatar?
No,
the
Netflix
series.
I put it on and I watched like maybe the first 2 episodes. And I was sick too when I was trying to watch it. I just
it's all just still blurs.
Yeah, I mean, I liked what I saw of it. The bending was a gajillion times better than the previous attempt that they made at live action. By the royal way, that doesn't have anything to do with Netflix, but everything to do with Shaolin. So
it took me a second because Boomy is like very skinny. Like, oh, did they do like CG to make something? No, that's what the guy's actually that skinny. The guy they have doing Boomy, because they showed the makeup test for him.
Whoa.
It's like, oh, okay. He's not like a hunchback like Boomy usually looks like, or did look like in that show. But when you go from animation to live action, you got to realize in animation everything's like hyper stylized, especially that show. where everything was hyper stylized, and then you go in and it's like real world. I don't know. It's bizarre, but I feel like we've talked about all the topics we usually talk about if Strange was here. We're like, oh, Strange isn't going to be here. Let's talk about everything.
Let's hit all those, yeah.
So I was, I've been playing that Battlefront called, the new re-release of the Battlefronts 1 and 2, the classic collection. And watching all the videos of that, seeing the entire community have a brain melt because apparently no Battlefront game could have a wonderful launch.
Yeah, they're just cursed. EA just cursed with them.
Well, it wasn't just EA, but Pandemic Studios back in the time.
That's right, they did go.
Oh boy. But yeah, I don't know. I like it. I've been able to play it. Shared it with my son a little bit. And he was funny trying to play it, being 4 years old and not very
adept at the controls.
At the controls. He's kind of getting it. He at least killed me when I walked by, so I'm like, nice. Dino on your team. Yeah.
It's funny. Yeah. I tried playing video games and I found I am too impatient, which now my brother goes, well, that'd make funny content if you did that, because you're impatient. My brother was like, back when Destiny was a game, like back when it first started coming out, he was like, hey, you want to play? I'm like, sure, this kind of looks fun. And I was like, in my head, I was like, I'm not going to use any of the weapons, because like the whole ammo thing is like, I'm not going to waste any. I'll just start punching the character, like the bosses. I'm not going to shoot them or do anything. My brother's like, I'm taking this from you. You're driving me crazy. You're just punching them. I was like, yeah, because I want to see how far I can get with just punching the thing.
Trying to be a scout. What do you want from me?
Yeah, I didn't. I was also, part of me was like, I don't know what's going on. I don't know the story. All I know is like, I'm in space. There's space bikes. There's this thing floating by my head. Mm-hmm. Like it's Sims. It's all I know.
Destiny was fantastic when it first came out, like the first one. And I started on the 360, but I never could play it again on the PS4 because I lost all my progress or whatever. So it was just,
that sucks.
Ugh. I lost all my progress because it doesn't transfer. Like I still have everything that I did on the 360 of yesteryear, but I don't have any like data on the PS4 because they didn't have like the cross-play, thingamabobbers. Now they do. You play PlayStation, Xbox, and PC on Destiny 2 and have the same characters on all of them, which was cool, but still, it was not enough for me to come back because it got really convoluted. They killed off my favorite robot.
They killed off Nathan Fillion.
Yeah. I was like, why does Nathan Fillion have to die? Kid!
Well, he's got to be in that cop show.
Oh, yeah. He could be in that cop show and voice a robot.
Nice. He's in that cop show. He can't do Destiny anymore. He's got to be in that cop show or whatever show he's at.
It's called The Rookie.
Yeah, The Rookie. I was going to say Firefly. No, but no one's doing
Firefly.
No
one cares about Firefly. That should go to driver reviews. But...
Yeah. Joss Whedon surely, I don't think, cares about Firefly anymore. I don't know. I watched one episode of Firefly and I was like, this is interesting. Probably not going to watch the rest. I think it was like the train. It was like the second episode. It was like the train episode. And I was like, oh, okay. But I don't know. I think Firefly has just been cursed to be a niche thing forever. I think it's just like, and you can go watch something else that's way better than Firefly. Go watch like Star Trek or something adjacent to Firefly. Like, I don't know. It's one of those things. Nathan Fillion's also probably busy he's going to be in that Superman movie that's coming out next year. So.
Playing who?
He's Green Lantern. But not the one everyone thinks he could be. He's going to be Guy Gardner. So they're going to give him a horrible bowl cut.
I guess that's whatever Ryan Reynolds went through.
Oh, you mean just wore like a green screen suit or whatever they had for that Green Lantern suit because it was all CG, couldn't be practical?
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah. Hey, let's trust the guy that made that ruined that Green Lantern movie, that he do all the CW shows, because he's been trusted to do it. Good going. Now you just put like CW in the grave, because now they're just done. They shut down that studio and everything. That's all gone. After they ended all the CW shows, they're just like, and we're dead.
It's kind of nice to suppose that Ryan Reynolds' work as Green Lantern was so bad that he could be Deadpool, I suppose.
Yeah, and then we're gonna make jokes about it,
Yeah, but this is exactly what Deadpool's character would do.
Yeah. Yeah, remember, this character was also in Hobbs and Shaw, or whatever, because Ryan Reynolds is, or, oh no, what's If? He's in that Imaginary Friends movie as well.
Oh yeah.
Because I'm sure there'll be a Detective Pikachu joke, because Ryan likes playing weird characters. Weird adjacent about Pikachu. So there's a cover comic they made where they revealed Ash's name for his Pokemon. Do you know what? Do you want to guess what the name is for his Pokemon?
Which one?
It's Ash, like Ash is Pikachu, like Pikachu's name. Yeah.
Actually?
No, it's John Luke Pikachu.
John Luke
Seriously.
Pikachu.
Are you serious?
Yes.
Wow.
I don't think it's canon, but still. Someone's
John
like, I
Luke
like
Pikachu.
Ash is a Star Trek nut.
Yeah, he's a Trekkie,
Who knew?
It's like saying Goku likes I don't know, he likes Star Wars or something like that. R.I.P. to Akira Toriyama, But yeah, that one was weird. Like, apparently he's like 60 when he died. I thought he was like younger. Akira Toriyama. I was like, oh, okay. It's odd. He died from like a brain aneurysm or something like that. I was like, could have gone different ways. And then like whoever has the studio for Dragon Ball is like, you know what? That kids show we made for Dragon Ball, we're gonna put it on TV. We're not gonna leave it on the streaming app. We're gonna put it on TV right after the guy dies. Because that's what you do. We'll do the SpongeBob effect. Or we'll make a bunch of spin-offs after the creator dies. That he didn't want. That's what you do.
You know what? I'm upset that Avatar: The Last Airbender didn't beat out SpongeBob for Lego sets.
They did make Lego sets.
They had 2. SpongeBob had 3. Like, Lego was like, okay, which is gonna do better? And see, here's the thing: Avatar just came out, and SpongeBob had been running for several years. So guess who obviously won?
Yeah. What did Nickelodeon put more money into?
Yeah. So obviously SpongeBob had to win, and Avatar just got went by the wayside. Unlike now, like they could totally do Avatar now. They would probably sell.
I know.
Crazy.
I'm really. Also, I'm surprised the Avatar series didn't go to Paramount first and went to Netflix.
Oh yeah.
Because Nickelodeon's like all over Paramount for some reason. They're just like, everything on Paramount. We'll have Creed do a Super Bowl ad. Which, why? I saw that ad, I was like, what's going on? Jean-Luc Picard's in it. They're just like, shuffle him on stage. Probably doesn't even know what's going on.
You sure it wasn't John Luke Pikachu?
It's just Pikachu. Just Pikachu in a Star Trek uniform.
Yep.
Something. I don't know. I don't. I read that. I was like, this can't be a thing. This has to be like a weird like webtoon or something. No, it's like a cover story. I don't think it's canon because some stuff in Pokemon is not canon anymore. Because Nintendo's like, oh, did it do well? Canon. Because Nintendo's weird about the projects. So, like, but okay, Illumination can do all our movies now. Yeah, isn't Mario Bros coming out 2026? But they were saying like the second one's like 2026. Well, the second one, they're like, let's wait.
It's like they want the community mod their games, but they can accept a suicidal star. Fine.
Yeah, there's like, yeah. I watch a lot of Woodhawker because he does a lot of that. Beat 'em ups, he does all that. He's like, heaven forbid, Nintendo want to work with their fans. But I think he made a similar joke where he was like, "But it's okay, we could have Jack Black do a whole song for a movie." Which
That's how you know the Minecraft movie is going to be phenomenal.
Oh, I just thought about that. They're gonna make a bunch. They better all those Minecraft music videos back in the day. They're just like Jack Black's gonna make one. It's gonna be bizarre because for some reason that's all over TikTok right now. Is that Kung Fu Panda Britney Spears cover he did? So I'm like, what is going on? And like,
2024, baby, 2024.
Yeah. We also were silly for some reason thought Jason Momoa died. So we talking about him being the Minecraft movie.
Yeah, I don't know. I was like looking it up. I'm like, well, that was really, really wrong. I don't know where I thought that.
Wow.
His career hasn't died yet.
Not quite.
I was like, wow. No. Why are there so many movies that Jason's making? I thought he died like 3 years ago.
Oh, he's still doing Aquaman.
He's still doing Aquaman.
Maybe you misread that Amber Heard's career died.
Yeah. Well, yeah, definitely. Thank goodness.
Well,
she's in some movie I saw. Like, I didn't watch it. I saw the ad for it. I was like, who's hiring her? Like,
do they not know? Have they not heard about the virtue signaling that is not hiring Amber Heard?
Yeah, put her in the room with the actors that are blacklisted from Hollywood. Just be over there. Or whatever, I don't know. She can go cry about something on the internet. I don't know. I don't know. I didn't like her as an actress before, and then all that came out, and I was like, oh, I really don't like you. Okay. Because I never watched her in anything besides Aquaman. I was like, oh, she's fine in this. And then I guess like now the finished rumors, like everyone wanted her to be Invisible Woman. I was like, I don't want her touching any of this. We'll see. We'll see with what's going on. But do we want to talk about anything else? I think we've talked about everything we could talk to about without having Strange here.
What about?
Yeah, what about that?
I vaguely remember some time ago watching the Doom movie video game adaptation.
Oh my goodness! Did you watch the sequel that they
made?
They
made a sequel?
Yes, it came out. When did it come out? I think it was very recently. And like it's like of course not really connected to Doom. I was like, why is there a sequel? And of course they clearly couldn't get The Rock to come back because he's too big for his britches.
Well, I thought The Rock died in the first one.
Did he?
Yeah, because basically what happened was that The Rock got influenced by the demons or whatever, and he like blew up or something, and there was a big scary boss battle in this place that Carl had to fight.
Yeah, it's called Doom Annihilation, which is weird because there's also another movie that didn't do well called Mortal Kombat, and their sequel is called Annihilation, which is a weird coincidence. That movie.
Or is it?
I think Annihilation. Oh, and the if you look up the poster, it's just one of the Doom monsters, and this is Doom Annihilation, and it clearly looks like a xenomorph. Like they really didn't put much effort. It came out 2019.
So you do know you have an art style and source material, right, guys?
No, we don't want to do that. We want to make it our own. We want to make our own property out of it.
Why do you care?
Because Doom sells on our.
Yeah.
Because Doom sells, not our own property. We'll just slap the name on it.
It's not Vacations that sell. It's Doom that sells.
Yeah.
I think
this movie makes more sense.
I think the Assassin's Creed did okay.
Did it? I never watched it.
A little bit. I don't
name one video game adaptation that did well besides Mario.
Sonic, kind of.
Oh, Sonic.
Sonic was
well, the Sonic. Well, imagine if we had the Sonic movie that we were supposed to get, where it was.
That'd be terrible.
Oh my god.
Probably.
They're just like, let's just have this weird thing, and then we won't have fodder. We won't have fodder for that Chippendale movie where he's a joke in the movie. because like somehow Disney got the rights to that to have that ugly Sonic in their movie for some reason. Somehow, like they had some weird thing with Universal.
Did you just say
I don't know.
imagine if the internet hadn't caused a fuss about it? They're like, guys,
Yes, because
what are you doing?
Yes, because whenever the internet makes a fuss, it always works out. You know, people they just don't listen. Like, I don't know. I'm trying the Mortal Kombat movies. Fine. Either of them, the new one or the old one, they're fine. The original Mario movie sucks. It's weird because it's like let's have not Goombas and dinosaurs for some reason because those are in the game. That's what people kind of remember. And then I don't know. I heard someone's argument. It's tricky doing video game adaptations because most video games are one person, like a first person. But then you try making that a movie, and then like it doesn't quite work.
Right.
In some stuff, but then you got stuff like Monster Hunter, and they take half of what Monster Hunter was cool, and then make like a weird movie with Mila Jovovich because she needs money. I don't know. It's weird.
Do the Resident Evil movies do pretty good?
I don't know.
I've watched most of them, like back in the day.
Yeah, I don't know if those did well. I think it was this person has good graces in Hollywood, so therefore we'll keep making their movie until like enough people say no.
Has no good morals whatsoever.
Yeah. I'm trying to think any other like video game movies.
Wreck-It Ralph's a video game movie.
I was gonna say Wreck-It Ralph, yeah.
Kind of. It's
I don't know, not quite. Have you all seen Uncharted?
But
we can move on. But or we can talk about Wreck-It Ralph.
Uncharted. I don't know.
Come on, it's Tom Holland and Mark Wahlberg.
Oh, yeah, were you gonna say Tom Hanks? Were you about to say Tom Hanks
There's
or something like that?
There's a snake in my boot. No, I just said Sheriff Woody.
That one's. I'm like, can we not have the original person that voices the character in your movie? Because then you just want that character. Because Nolan North, who does the voice for Uncharted for Nathan Drake, is in that movie. He's like a guy on the beach, and he makes a line of like, yeah, it's very much like, oh, are these in the same universe? Like Nathan Drake does exist, like the Nolan North version, and the Tom Holland version exists at the same time. Like it's bizarre.
If I remember correctly, Antonio Banderas was the villain in this movie.
He was, yeah. And like I didn't recognize this as Antonio Banderas right away. It's also like in Indiana Jones 5 where they recognize.
You know, my repertoire with Antonio Banderas is Zorro and Spy Kids.
So, Puss in Boots.
Yeah,
not Puss in Boots.
Yeah, you're right. I don't recognize the actors as well when they just voice act.
That is fair. But then for some reason Hollywood's like, hey, let's have every like big star be an animated movie, even though they have like no idea how to do voice acting because it's very different. Like let's have The Rock be in a animated movie for some reason, or like any other live action actor be in an animated movie for some reason. But I don't know if I count Wreck-It Ralph as a animated or an animated. It is an animated movie. As a video game movie, it's just let's have video game cameos. The movie with Wreck-It Ralph, because Disney never, unless they did, made like an arcade game for Wreck-It Ralph around the movie. Which I don't know. Which what Disney didn't do was advertise Disney Infinity because those came out around the same time. They just didn't make that a movie. I was really surprised. If anyone remembers Disney Infinity. Disney Infinity was fun, and then they're like, and we're done. We're just going to close all the servers down. I mean, I liked it.
Okay.
But that's fair. That's because one person likes it doesn't mean you should, make more of it, Just because the mouse wants a cookie doesn't mean you give him the cookie, Because then he wants milk and a bedtime story.
Dude, that was like a crazy reference right there. Like old school. Way to go.
Yay!
I got the reference.
Yeah, I'm waiting for that animated movie, that they're gonna. Yeah. They're making a Harold in the Purple Crown movie. But he's not a kid. It's Zachary Levi as an adult. It's like if it's like essentially a sequel to the book, but if like Harold was a full adult and never grew up. For some reason, I don't understand it. Why that's I just understand it was like a short film, like before a movie, like Harold and the Purple Crown, like short movie. But nope, let's make a full 2-hour movie or 90-minute movie. How long you want to make it? But because they used to do like short form. There's a storybook, I don't even remember it, where this kid gets stuck in a bakery and he's trying to escape. Like, he ends up wearing like a bread suit and like tries to escape and he's almost cooked by these chefs. It's a weird storybook. They played it right before, what's it called? Because they made a live action movie of it later. Where the Monsters Dwell?
Where the Wild Things Are.
Or no, Where the Wild Things Are. Yes, that. I was like, what is it
Where
called?
the monsters dwell. Where the wild things are. Where the
Hey.
monsters dwell.
Close enough. Close enough.
That was amazing.
I mean, it does kind of sound, poetic-y, I guess, where the monsters dwell.
Yeah, I expect
sure
that kind of thing from the knockoff story, you know?
Yeah,
Where
it's
the Wild Things Are? We have Where the Monsters Dwell.
Well,
Close enough.
Yeah, it's Asylum. Let's do Avengers Grimm or Atlantic Rim. Like those movies, like or Sharknado.
What kind of squabble does America and Europe have now?
Yeah, or Sharknado, because they're known for those movies too.
Like 6 Sharknados.
Like
my mother-in-law's seen all like 6 of them.
Yeah, Dolph Lundgren's in one of them. Dolph Lundgren for some reason is in one of them. For some reason, because apparently he needed money.
Yeah, I was gonna say for a paycheck.
Yeah,
Or like Hugh Grant, who's like, I need a paycheck. I have children. I need to feed. I will be an Oompa Loompa, but I will not like it.
Yeah, but then he also says he hates doing that. So why would you do that? Like, go to theater, dude. Like,
I need work.
You know who's gonna need work is like John Cena after running out on stage like butt naked at the Oscars. I was like, what is going on?
There were some things at play.
He wasn't actually butt naked, but yeah,
he was nearly
like
butt naked.
He might as well have been.
Because I saw, yeah.
He was
as a man
butt naked.
Who knows the sights of other men, he might as well have been.
But it's okay. We had a fun reference to Batman during that, with Arnold Schwarzenegger and Danny DeVito.
And Michael Keaton.
Yes.
Michael Keaton
which then I'm really surprised. Yeah, which I'm really surprised someone didn't go, we're Warner Brothers, we are going to release a script of the forgotten Joel Schumacher, like, third movie that was going to get made. We have the script, we will animate it, and everyone will come back to do their voices. Because Warner Brothers wants money, because they're in the toilet right now. Because they want to focus all on this stupid app.
Yeah.
And just everything.
It's wild. I noticed that no one bothers laughing at it. Like, at least the person who... Nobody... it's just weird, because, like, the few jokes I've seen, the jabs the comedian does at the, actors and actresses, those actors and actresses never, ever smile, never, ever laugh about it. They're just like, you're kidding me, right?
I'm sure there's like in the movie Shrek where the guy's got the title cards where he's like, smile, applause, like someone's off to the side, just do this thing.
Yeah,
just,
right.
Just look like you're enjoying your time, like this isn't a formality. I don't know. Oscars suck. I've never watched the Oscars.
That sums it up right there.
They should hire a comedian who goes full fire and brimstone on those pagans. I'd pay for that.
Yeah. Yeah, or
dude,
like
Ricky Gervais got on one time. You ever seen that?
Who?
No, I did not.
Ricky Gervais, the guy that was the original Office in the UK. Man, he fired him up, boys. He was not letting him. He was like laying him down.
Did you hear they're making a all women Office reboot?
Are you serious?
And it's
Oh
Australian.
my goodness!
And
And
it's
it's Australian.
Wow.
So no one's gonna watch it. On top of doing another Office reboot, like at the same time, like they're doing 2 different ones. Like I was like,
This
what's
is
going
weird.
on?
An all-women Office reboot. I'm like, that doesn't even sound interesting. The whole reason the Office is funny is because it's mixed. Like
because it's an Office.
It's an
Well,
Office.
it's because it's an Office.
And also people for Walks of Life. An all-woman Office. Okay, if there was really, I would think if there was really a company that had an all-woman employee, database. Well, first off, if there's a company that had an all-men database, I'm sure they would feel the pressure from other people who obviously know better than them that they need to hire more women.
Yeah.
So it just it don't even sound good. It doesn't sound like that.
No.
All it sounds like is old wives' tales and gossip.
It's like doing an
Being
all women
jealous of each other's
Oceans.
shoes.
Yeah, it's like doing an all women Oceans movie.
Right. That wasn't too bad. The Ocean. My wife watches Oceans on multiple occasions. That's pretty interesting how they.
I watched
do that.
one of them.
I think it was just Ocean's
I don't
8
remember.
specifically.
Yeah. Laura's and Alex, my parents were watching Crazy Rich Asians, and I would walk past and I saw the trailers they're playing, and I got frustrated. Again, an editing thing of the hacker. If you're on a laptop, you're not a hacker. I'm sorry. Like, you're not gonna hack a full database on your flimsy laptop. Like, that's not happening. I'm sorry.
Why not?
Your computer don't have enough power to do that, silly.
Oh, is that how that works?
You're probably.
Now, here's the thing, though.
Also,
you have to use a laptop if you're on the go. Were they on the go, or were they sitting at home, presumably?
I don't know. I don't remember. It's in a trailer, so.
Because they were sitting
Unless
at home,
you had-
presumably, supposedly being a hacker on a laptop. Yeah, that's fine. But if they're
Yeah.
at a cafe or whatever, I'm sure there are other applications in hackery that they're trying to perform.
I'm sure. Yeah, I'm sure. I don't know. I don't know. It's. I don't
It's
know.
all good.
Maybe it's a good movie, like you said. Maybe it's a good movie, but that just frustrates me. Like, let's do an all women movie, like Ghostbusters.
Yeah, that was kind of.
That did so well.
That kind of felt
Yeah,
fun.
it didn't do very well as I recall.
Dude,
That could have been better.
I watched that. My mom, back again when we had a family video, she got that because she's like, "Oh, I haven't seen Ghostbusters, so we'll watch it together." She didn't realize there was the 2016 one. She didn't realize that. And I told her, I was like, "Hey, you're gonna grab the wrong one. You want to grab?" Like, I showed her which one it was. I'm like, because they made the covers look exactly alike.
Yeah.
Of the lime green with the ghost, like everything. I'm like, no, you want this one? It looks older. It's not like clearly looks like it's new. And she's like, oh, it's fine. They're the same. I was like, okay.
No, they're not.
I'm like,
Mom.
I'll teach you a lesson. We'll watch the 26. I'll torture myself to prove a point.
Movie ends. She turns to you. I'm so sorry, son. I should have listened to you.
Oh, it was very much that. It was very much that. I was like, this is painful. This is painful to watch. Hey, but the new one looks good. That comes out next week. Where they're like, hey, let's just do the cartoon, but in live action. So, because the cartoon was good until they made Slimer the whole plot of the show. The one character that can't talk.
Of course. They couldn't pay for the voice acting.
No, Slimer doesn't talk.
They couldn't pay for the voice acting.
Frank Welker does the voice for Slimer. Megatron does the voice for Slimer. He talks, but it's all noise. It's just gargles and other random noises. I don't know.
Me neither.
I don't know.
All right. Yeah.
Hey, Godzilla. Godzilla comes a week after that too. So heck yeah.
Time to wrap it up for
Bring
the
the
evening.
Yeah. Oh yes.
Guess I have to go to bed.
Yep. So if you enjoyed this episode, consider following us at Pizza Party Pod. I forgot to play the beginning episode because Silly and I got on a rant. So, well, whatever. So, again, comment, subscribe to this video or wherever you're listening. Audio, you can pop on over or just leave a poll, because there's polls you can do, which I set up to now, where you can suggest topics for future episodes. So, because I forgot you could do polls until I got it.
Because that should boost
you
our
can do
things
polls
too.
on YouTube too.
Yeah.
No, I'm talking about if you do an audio.
Okay.
Like on Audacity or.
Well, you should try and go and make regular posts on YouTube too, because that boosts your channel.
There's that too. Well. Yeah. I got to do that too. So you do all of that. You can watch our shorts and all of that, and check out another video that is possibly popping up. Silly, where can they find you?
They can find me at Twitch at SillyBoy1202, YouTube at SillyBoy1202. You can find me on Facebook if you really want to, but I don't really use it all that much. I haven't posted in a while at TL Corner. Yeah, that's it.
Nice. You can find me at FT_Fast Food Reviews on most social media platforms, and at YouTube at Nathan Fast Food Reviews. The video you should check out is, what do we got coming out? A video I'm working on called Fast Food in Fiction. I just went through the Wikipedia and the wiki of them, and I found Bat Burger, which is a whole plot in a Batman comic of a chain restaurant that's just Batman.
Right next to the Condiment King.
Might as well. It's a random joke in a Tom King Batman book. And a couple other things. Check that video out. I have a script written. I got to record it all, so it'll be out possibly this week or the week after. Check it out. Crad, where can I find you?
Here and on God's First Geek Second.
Yes. That place, because I accidentally said the other name, which is Those Christian Geeks, but it's God First Geek Second. Strange is usually also here, but he's not here. You can find him at Strange Plays and Strange Games and other places. The links are all down below. Again, also, the Discord where you can chat with us is also down there. Again, at God First Geek Second. So, without further ado, guys, you guys enjoy the rest of your day. Eat pizza, or whatever whatever our tagline is.
Yes, so, boy. What's our tagline?
We had it. Silly knows it.
No, not really. So
eat, pray, love, eat pizza. I don't know.
Yeah. There's things we don't talk about.
There's things politics. We don't talk about. Politics, pizza, and religion. And we here on the Pizza Podcast, we talk about all three, unashamed, unabashedly. We would probably not talk about politics, but seeing how we are heirs and subjects of the kingdom of God. Well. All right. Have a nice day. Bye.
All right, buddy.